Sunshine, while you play.
Welcome back, we're here at Terminal 4, London Heathrow. I'm quite excited because we're flying Qatar on the A380 in not quite Qsuite. Business class is business class, right? Well, no. You see, since Home Alone 2 came out, it's had a huge improvement. Gone the days of those large plus seats, with British Airways being the first to introduce the lie flat seat. Since then, customer demands have only got higher, so Qatar rocked the world with the Qsuite. Things were going really well for them until the pandemic, when unfortunately they began experiencing cracked paint on their Airbus A350s. And then the awkward conversations began with Airbus. As a precautionary, we think Qatar grounded them for safety concerns, but 2 years later the world reopened and Qatar had an issue. Airbus had cancelled all the future orders for Qatar, given their heated discussions over the A350, and Qatar needed to grow to support demand. As a result, they were desperately looking around for surplus aircraft, bringing the beauty that is the Airbus A380 that we're flying on today. So that is checking out the way, really easy process, took about 3 minutes through to the lounge. The last time we were here, we were attempting to fly around the entire world exclusively on the Airbus A380, and we nearly achieved it. Now, we may not be travelling on Qatar's flagship business class, but we'll still get access to one of the most exclusive lounges in the world. Let me explain. Qatar is part of One World, which has some of our favourite airlines, and is a minority when it comes to separating its business and first class passengers from its One World's frequent flyers, hence the exclusivity. Both are wonderful experiences, but their restricted one is just a little bit fancier. Think materials and a water fountain. The windows of the lounge are only on one side, so here's an Airfront Airbus A220 we reviewed last week. The architect had to get pretty creative, because no one wants to dine in darkness or against a concrete wall. Towards the back is a made-to-order restaurant where there's plenty of beauty laid out choices, and a self-service station where Brent's gone for a healthy fruit platter. One of our favourite dishes is the shakshuka, one for those who want something a little bit healthier than an English breakfast. We're also given one of many hand towels to come, which are in this stylish and not so environmentally friendly packaging, so I tend to avoid them. The lounge opens at 5 AM in the morning, which is early for a lounge, with the first flight out at 8:05 on a Boeing 777-300, and our flight following not too long after at 8:35. At risk of freaking out the locals, I had a quick wash in the hotel, so that I could enjoy a shower in the lounge. I do applaud the continuation of the eye-pleasing materials in the shower. I just wondered why the rooms feel so long and thin. Qatar many years ago partnered with Rituals all the way back in 2018, whose stores are worth a visit because it's a delight to all the senses. Qatar for some reason changed to Diptyque, who are a slightly more premium brand and make wonderful products. We just feel it's a little bit like when two of your friends are dating and they split up. Who do you pledge your allegiance to?
Sunshine.
With Brent taking slightly longer in the shower, I've parked myself next to the marble water fountain to admire it one last time. It can be pretty expensive to fly from London, with one of the highest taxes in Europe, so I'm not sure when I'll be back, if ever. Even today, we pay for today's flight using air miles, with our final destination being sunny Australia on the Boeing 777 into Melbourne. Complete with Qsuite, we can't believe how lucky we were. It was a magical and long 14-hour excursion. Definitely worth checking out, so I'll tag the review on the end of this one. So I think we could agree that was an absolutely beautiful lounge, lovely selection of food, and the staff so warm and welcoming. If you're flying Etihad or Qatar, their airplanes tend to park on gates opposite the lounges, which is great for the premium passengers and makes no difference to anyone else. Somehow I've flown them a few times and the setup always feels a little chaotic. So we arrive slightly ahead of boarding time, only to find out we won't be boarding for the next 15 minutes. QR10 departs London Heathrow at 8:35, and takes a modest 6 hours and 40 minutes, covering a distance of 3,239 miles, touching down into Doha at 17:45. Today's flight is operated by one of Qatar's 8 Airbus A380s, which we're lucky to still have, as the previous CEO of Qatar, Al Baker, kept saying they were a mistake purchasing them, and was adamant they wouldn't be around much longer. For comparison, Qatar has 56 Airbus A350s and 92 Boeing 777s. While the lower deck is entirely made up of economy in a 3-4-3 configuration, the upper deck of Qatar's A380 is all premium, with 8 reasonably private first-class seats at the very front. They're very comfortable and they come with a very personalised service. Just behind are 48 seats in business class, covering 12 rows in a 1-2-1 configuration. Manufactured by Collins Aerospace and dubbed the Super Diamond variant, you can also find these on Qatar's Airbus A350s, as well as plenty of other airlines. It's a very popular seat. It's not quite as private as Qsuite, but this is an incredible product. Hi Brent. When it comes to a good view out the window, the wings on the A380 are massive, taking up a third of the plane. So no matter where you sit in business class, your view will be obstructed by the wing. When it comes to choosing a seat, it's pretty easy. Sit by the window or sit in the middle, with every chair angled away from the aisle, so it's reasonably private. And even if you end up in the middle seat, a modestly high divider makes you feel less overlooked. Airlines love these seats because they can pack more in, but from a passenger perspective, the footwell is pinched and can be a little bit restricted. Each seat has a width of 22 inches and a pitch of 51, more than enough space converting it into an 80-inch flatbed, which is 6'6". That's a lot of length. It may lack the privacy from Qsuite, with the big selling point being it's far more comfortable when trying to sleep.
Sunshine. Why you play?
Most airlines only give you one pillow, but some like Qatar go as far as giving you one with the destinations they fly to and a second that's really plush in their purple livery that I'd love to own. Things got a little bit confusing with the amenity kit, because on our journey from London to Doha we received this pretty box, with the second flight to Melbourne being completely different. Both contain the usual socks and earplugs with lotion, face cream, lip balm and eau de toilette from Diptyque, but we aren't sure which one's being phased out. This green beauty is Qatar's signature drink, the lemon mint. It's high in sugar, but it's very addictive, unsurprisingly. Made from lemon mint, sugar and sometimes with honey. The view out the window has majorly improved, with the condensation reducing. And since the time of filming, Qatar has changed their safety video. The old one was really good, so I'm not sure why they felt the need to change, but the new one features Kevin Hart.
What's going on, Q boss?
What's up, Kevin? Look, man, I need your help. I need the world's greatest safety video.
You know, they say a lot of these safety videos are no nonsense. How about we just call it what it is? Unimaginative, uninventive, and flat out boring.
If you've seen it, did you enjoy it? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
When it all comes down, when our life is too big to confound, you said I can't love anyone but you, and I know exactly what to do. You said I can't love anyone but you. I'm so used if you want to. Do we feel the same way I do? That this will last forever, that we'll never be done. Take my hand, I know you want to. Let's spend this night together instead of on our own.
Typically, I would start with a meal service. Today's a little different because being in the morning, I often wake up dehydrated and actually drink plenty, so I'm in need of the onboard toilet. The ones at the very front in first class are huge, unlike the ones in business class, with all the same wonderful features and that pretty tiled meets wood design. To keep you entertained, things kick off with a bowl of hot mixed nuts, and an optional drink from the bar. Hey, why not? I'm on holiday, let's have a glass of champagne. It may not be here, but somewhere in the world it's 2 PM in the afternoon. With the start on the way, it's time to see what entertainment they have on board. Qatar's business class on the A380 has a 17-inch HD touchscreen, which is becoming the new average standard size. The budget for content must be pretty deep, because ORX1, according to the website, has over 6,000 digital titles. So as expected, plenty new titles from Hollywood and plenty of classics as well. And the interface is very pleasing in terms of responsiveness and design. What did surprise me though was under the TV series and sci-fi, there was only 2 TV shows, and nothing from the Star Trek series, which I was previously watching in economy last year. Strange. The in-flight entertainment can also be controlled separately from the remote on the side, just below the table. The headphones are good quality and they have noise cancelling, but they were uncomfortable after 4 hours. The menu is pretty extensive, as is the drinks list, and in Qatar's business class you can dine on demand at any time you like. Within reason, obviously you can't order just before landing. Having completely forgotten about the existence of Qsuite, we're both thoroughly enjoying the pretty candle that really sets the scene, and this large purple tumbler for your choice of water. Qatar's menu is 5-star, so I'm not surprised by the girthy piece of lobster tail and the beautifully presented salmon starter. Both were quality pieces of fish, and I would happily have 5 more plates. Gulf style chicken biryani was a great choice. Every mouthful was just packed full of flavour. In fact, I enjoyed it so much I had it on the next flight. Unlike Etihad, where we had mixed results, the service on Qatar was very efficient. So 5 minutes later, I finished my lunch with a baked plum tart. It looked pretty heavy, but it was pretty light, and it left me enough room to head to the bar with Brent for a change of scenery. Etihad is the only other airline to have a bar on board their A380, but it's nothing like Qatar's. This one is spacious, bright and airy, and if you're travelling by yourself, the bar person is usually pretty chatty and welcoming. It was a welcome change, not just to see the usual pre-packed high-carb snacks, with beautifully designed mousse-bouches in small, delicate glass tumblers. But I quite fancy a carrot chai tea, which is creamy and good for the throat. QR10 is a daytime flight, so the majority of passengers were either watching movies or hanging out in the bar area. I'm settling back into my seat to watch the original version of Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, not the other 4 variants, with only 3 hours until we arrive into Doha. Despite needing to review the flight, I'm not a pig, so a 3-course meal was out of the question. Looking to the lighter options of breakfast despite being dinner time, the bircher muesli with almond milk sounded pretty light. On top of that, I had a mango yogurt with blueberries, all great options.
Shortly we'll be commencing our descent toward Hamad International Airport in Doha.
The sun disappeared pretty quickly while making our landing into Doha, which I still can't quite get my head around. I have to say it's been a wonderful flight that did not disappoint.
You said I can't love anyone but you, and I know exactly what to do. You said I can't love anyone but you. I'm sorry, yours if you want to.
Am I the only one that looks out the window at another parked plane and wonders if that's my connecting flight? Perhaps it's just me. Anyway, it's time for a lovely conclusion in the architectural gem that is Doha Airport. It was a really enjoyable flight, and the product, although it's not new, is still very good. Even from a privacy point of view, you might worry at first because there's no walls or doors, which is now the current standard, but all the seats point inwards or outwards toward the window, so you're not really facing anyone, and because they're staggered as well, that adds to the benefit as well. Food was really good. Breakfast I almost missed. You have to make sure you ask people that you want to have breakfast, because otherwise they won't know, but the first meal is always offered. As for the seat, really comfortable, lots of room, and it's nice that the armrests go down, which help to sleep if you need to. Otherwise, great cabin crew. Thank you for watching.